We praise Yahweh in this place. Yes, we praise Him. Bokatol to all. Bokatol to all. Make no mention. Make no mention of their deities, of their source, who they call on for power, who they pray to, who they exalt, who they admonish. This has always been a sticky conversation. Let us prepare for the blowing of the shofar. So how's everybody doing this yom? How's everybody doing this yom? Let's blow the shofar. Allah, Yahweh, let's disturb the airway of all negative energy, a burst, a shout. We know that in the 7th month, coming up on the 7th month, we know that we will be in the shout, the yom, some call. Yes. Okay, I'm checking something out. Checking something out. So we know that we have, in the 7th month, we're going to be real busy. So I wanted to go that path, but Yahweh changed it at the last minute. Because it's imperative that we stay on the path. Make no mention of their deities. Make no mention of their deities. Just lightly touching on what we have coming up in a few months. In Exodus 35, the Shabbat. Many people that are proclaiming to be awakened and are claiming to be Hebrews. Those are the main ones who could observe the Shabbat, but they're not observing the Shabbat as Yahweh requires. They're moving around, they're talking on the phone, they're watching TV, they're playing the radio, they're doing everything that their flesh desires. That is the purpose of the path. I'm going to talk about a few things, and one of the things I'm going to talk about is while my ancestors were in their Hajj, their pilgrimage, the 40 years, those 40 years that they were not in the land, that was a rehearsal for them coming into the land. Do you know that those 40 years that they observed all 7 feast days? Those 40 years they were in observance. They were in observance of the law, the statutes, and the commandments, and they were in observance of the high holy days of Yahweh. It is plain, it is all written throughout Scripture. And what Yahweh was doing, Yahweh was educating, and Yahweh was training my ancestors on how they would dwell in his land, how they would dwell, how they would carry themselves amongst the nations, what they were supposed to look like to the nations, to the Goyim, to all surrounding nations, to all surrounding people. One of the things that we're going to see that Yahweh, in 3 or 4 places, he's going to talk about the name. The name. And many people say the name doesn't matter. But first, I want to observe 2 Timothy. Let's observe 2 Timothy 2 and 15, first and foremost. 2 Timothy. Let's observe 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy. I'm just slowing it down. Yahweh's slowing it down. It almost was a temple rest today. It almost was a temple rest today. And Yahweh slows it down because when I enter into the Shabbat, the totality of my being, it slows down. It rejects anything that I was doing in my normal 6 days. My being, it rejects everything. It just wants to just be in the presence of Yah. It just wants to listen to what is going on in the Shamayim realm. It just wants to hear the conversation, what's being said, what's being spoken, what's coming forth. But there are some things that are coming forth, and those things are acknowledged in the unseen realm, because Yahweh said, before I do a thing, before I spring a thing upon you, I tell it first. I tell it to my prophets. I tell it to my seers. I tell it to my servants. And the Bible says, and study in 2 and 15, 2 Timothy 2 and 15, study to show thyself approved unto who? Not unto man. Not unto man to go on every street corner. It says, but study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, your ruler, your judge, your guide, that we may become workmen, a workman that needeth not be ashamed. Rightly, the scripture has to be divided. It has to be dissected. It has to be dissected, but it has to be dissected by the Ruach HaKadosh. Men learn different techniques and different things to dissect language and to dissect word, but it will always fail without the Ruach HaKadosh, without the edification of the working hand. The Ruach HaKadosh is the working hand of Yahweh. Without the edification of the working hand of Yahweh to tell you that, okay, that information that you have, it is kosher, it is good. It said that it must be rightly dividing the word. Listen, even the word of truth has to be rightly divided. I saw somebody take the scripture, and that's why so many Hebrews fear the second writings, because they can be taken more out of context than the first writings. Let's be clear. I want to be clear, because I see things from a 360. I'm not one-sided. I'm not two-sided. I move by the Ruach HaKadosh. I move by Yahweh. So I understand what you're saying. It can be twisted and it can be manipulated easily. And the first writings are not so much can be manipulated. But the Bible clearly says, listen, avoid profane and vain babblings, avoid arguments, avoid disputing. For they will increase unto more unrighteousness, more unyahwehness. Let us fall back. Let us fall back to 1 Timothy chapter 6. And let's listen to what it said here. It says in verse 26 and 20, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid things that do not honor Yahweh. Profane and vain babbling, those things do not honor Yahweh. And oppositions of science falsely called, so-called, which some professing have ear concerning the faith, grace be with you. Selah. Exalt, exhortation, exalt. Turn back to 2 and 16. Turn back to 2 and 16. 15, 16. So we understand and we begin to see that the word of Yah, it says, listen, we must study to show ourselves approved, and not study. I don't study to stand out. I don't study to be a leader. That's not what I studied for. That's not what I studied for. I didn't study lead. I studied because I wanted to live right. That was the first thing that I wanted. I wanted to live. I had lived such a corrupted life. I wanted to live right. So it is amazing to me how, to people who are not living right, how they will take scripture and they will try to tear you down with scripture. Oh, you think you all that, and oh, you forget. Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell it to you one time. Get out my ear with that foolishness. Get ye behind me, Satan. Get ye behind me, whoever you want to be. Because you should not let anyone come tear you down when you took a lifetime to learn how to walk above reproach. That is a task. And many of you, if Yahweh ever took you, as he takes me many times, and he makes me step outside of self, he makes me step outside of situation, and I begin to see all the working parts of my life. I begin to see the working parts of ministry, what keeps the ministry going, what keeps the building, what keeps cars, what keeps my wife, what keeps my children, my grandchildren, my mother, people around me that I care about. It's so many working parts that there's no way as a man I could control these things or I could do these things. There's no way. There's no way. So I have to give all praise. I have to give all praise unto Yahweh. Getting a little feedback. So I have to give all praise unto Yahweh. So I begin to do what the scripture does. I don't care what Facebook is doing. Facebook is not my master. Facebook is not my teacher. Facebook is not that copy and paste ministry. That's not my ministry. My ministry is the Ruach HaKodesh. My ministry is not the thoughts. Many people don't even know where they get those copy and paste things from. Many of those people don't even believe in nothing, but they copy and paste it. So a person who don't believe in nothing, a lot of people don't understand this, there's an energy behind their belief. There's an energy behind their belief. That's why it's put out there. That's why the Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto Yahweh, for a workman should not be ashamed. A lot of people are going to find out one day, oh, this man here is this, and this man is an 8, this man is this, and this man is this. And when you take people's stuff, you're actually promoting it. You're promoting, instead of you taking your time to go in meditation and to hear what Yahweh wants you to release. I see it all the time. So you search, oh, that's good post, that's a good post right there. And they post all day long on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook like that. So I just want to let y'all know, anybody in my inbox, I'm not on Facebook all day. I work. I do landscaping, I do trees, I work. I'm not on Facebook like that. I don't have that luxury to sit around and be on Facebook. So if I don't respond to you quickly, just know I'm not one who sits and monitors Facebook. I'm not one who does that. I don't do that. That's not what I do. I don't have the time nor the patience, because my ear has to be given to the source, my power, my righteous ruler, my judge, Yahweh. He has to have my undivided attention. That's why so much arguing and contention on Facebook right now and on many other social media platforms. So I want you to move to Acts 4 and 12, the book of Acts 4 and 12. Because this is where we're moving. And, you know, because I'm in the position I'm in, I get to confront pastors. Because since I'm in a position of leadership, it places me. Y'all always say that your gift will make room for you. So it places me in different places where a lot of other people can't get behind closed doors. You know, luncheons with pastors of the church, or Hebrews, or whoever, atheists, agnostics, just regular common day people, or CEOs, you know, people that own their own business, their own establishments. But when I began to question people that deals with this book, and I began to say, why don't you reinstall the original name? Well, you know, the name doesn't matter. Then I say, well, if the name truly doesn't matter, then let's baptize him in your name. Let's baptize him in the name of Chain Gang. Let's baptize him in your nickname. Let's baptize me. I baptize you in the name of Tank Head. You know, I baptize you in the name of Cupcake. Since the name don't matter, since the name don't have no authority, the name don't have no power, and then when we begin to ask, most of y'all got Google. All you got to do is ask your Google, what does Jesus mean? They're going to lead you to Aousus. Then they're going to lead you to JC, and it's going to say that it is a rendition. I mean, they tell you point blank, it is a rendition. It's not even a translation or transliteration. It's a rendition of Yeshua. Ask your phone. Ask your phone. The reason why I went and studied, because you're saying words that, since you're saying that you can translate Yeshua to Jesus, well, I've been translating Lord back to Baal. Baal. I've been translating Lord, my Lord, back to Bali. I've been tracing Balaam back to Lords. Lord, my Lords. The same way that you say, but when I translate those words back to their original state, because of anybody that deals with a scroll or deal with an ancient text, you ain't gonna find the word Adon. You're not gonna find the word Lord either. You're not gonna find that word. You're not gonna find that word. You're gonna find that word is Old English. You're gonna find out the origin of these words, and that is our job. Our job is to know the purpose, like my wife said, one of your professors. Oh yes, said it with Miles Moore. You gotta know the purpose of all things. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know what you're saying. That's your job. You teaching this stuff to your children. You teaching this stuff to your grandchildren. This stuff is running down through your what? It's running down through what? Where's it running down through? It's running down through your family. It's running down through your heritage. It's a lie that is being told from generation to generation to generation to generation to generations. And I was told and I was taught that there's only one thing that makes a man or a woman free. That's truth. That is emet. That is truth. The truth of a matter. So as we look at Acts 4 and 12, let's analyze, dissect 4 and 12. It says, neither means ain't nothing else. That's what neither means. It started off saying, ain't nothing else. There's no replacement. Neither is there salvation in any other. For there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby stop. Given. It is a name given. It is a name that was given unto men. This is where you have to be smart. Whoever you are, if you're part of the church or whatever, when you're dealing with this Bible, you have to learn how to remove the doctrine and the leaven of man. You got to start removing. You got to start removing. Listen. You don't need nobody's permission, because Yahweh say rightly divide the word of truth, so that you need not be ashamed. When? In that day. In that day that you stand before Yahweh. Because whether you believe or not, your total being of existence is to make it back to your natural state. That is the whole walk. It's not to enjoy marijuana, it's not to enjoy sex, it's not to enjoy parasailing, it's not to enjoy rock climbing. It is to make it back to your natural state. This is not eternal. This life is not eternity. That's why he say, listen, you are supposed to make yourself a living sacrifice unto my will, unto my authority, and unto my thinking. My thinking, arm yourself with the mind of the salvation of Yahweh. Arm yourself with the mind of Yahshua. So Yahweh says, listen, I'm going to give y'all a name. If it's taken away, if you throw it away, there must remain an Aaron. There must remain a Moses. People tell me ain't no Moses, ain't no that. There must remain a David. There must remain these things. That's why the Bible says throughout all your generations, you're going to have a type of Aaron. You're going to have a type of Moses. You're going to have a type of Solomon. You're going to have a type of David. That's why we got so many people that seem brilliant. Because we are going to continually have these type of people. It is promised. One other thing I'm going to deal with too. There are some prophecies in this Bible that have been fulfilled. The prophecy where Yahweh say, I'm going to bring y'all into the land and I'm going to give y'all rest from all y'all enemies. That's fulfilled in the book of Yehoshua. That is fulfilled. That is fulfilled information. You know, it behooves me that people are still taking scriptures and taking verses and say, see what it say right there? And I be saying in my head, I ain't even argue, that's fulfilled, brother. Houses that you did not build. Look around you. Wells that you did not dig. That's how you turn on that water and get you a drink of water out the spigot. That's how you take a shower. Vineyard that you did not plant. That's you walking around in the super Walmart as long as you stay on the outside where all the living organisms are, where all the plant food is, and stay from between the aisles. Going up and down them aisles, I already know it's death, those preservatives. They're not made to preserve us, they're made to preserve the food. Preservatives are not made to preserve humanity, they're made to preserve foods. And those type of items were really made for if just a major catastrophe ever happened, that you can survive until you get things, until you pull things back together. Till you can start rebuilding like they had to rebuild Puerto Rico. Like they had to rebuild Haiti when Haiti was torn down. It's called rations. And they have taken rations and they have put rations on the shelf and they sell them. Yes. There's no more than rations. No more than rations. As long as the shelf life. So the Bible says, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name. Now the reason why the name is important, because the name has a character. It has a meaning. It has a promise attached to it. It says that way is salvation. That's what Yahshua means. That's what Yahshua, the masculine form of Yahshua. That's what it means. Because you can say Yah, yes, Yesh, Yeshua, Y-E-S-H-U-A. You know, so it's different things that you can do, masculine and feminine. But the Bible said that the name was given. So when I saw that the name was given, I started researching the name that everybody was calling on. And I found out that they confused. I'm not confused. They confused because if I get my phone right now and I say, what does Jesus mean? They're going to direct me back to Yeshua. And they're going to say Yeshua is a rendition. They're going to say Jesus is a rendition of Yeshua. Now, y'all look up the word rendition. My wife doing it right now. What does Jesus mean? I have to know the meaning of everything, because now you're talking about my soul. And when I talk about my soul, let me tell y'all something about my soul. See, I don't know what happens in the afterlife. So, you know, I was told to prepare for war in the presence of peace. So I'm preparing now to enter into the afterlife. This life is to prepare you to enter into life. This is death in this body. This is death. We doomed. We doomed. You promised death. You promised the grave. So if I know I'm promised the grave, I have to prepare myself through this book to enter into life. Which Yeshua says in 19:17, Matthew, and all these say, look, if you are the wish to enter into life, keep the commandments. So the Bible said that this thing is under, listen, if you say that this thing is under the Shamayim, then it's not saying that it's under. I want you to understand with the word, what the word is saying. It's saying that this name covers. It covers the erect. It's not under. It's not beneath. It's above man. It's something that man has to strive for. It's not beneath man that it can be trampled on and chained and changed and done away with. These words, these are a play on word, because these things have an effect on a westernized mind that they don't have on an easternized mind. When I read the word, I'll be like, no, that don't go there. That's a bad interpretation. Because it's only two things that cause contradictory in the Bible. Interpretation, or three. Interpretation, translation, and the interpretation of the translation or the transliteration. I mean, translation, transliteration. Those are the things that cause, you know, someone to say that, oh, this here is contradictory. No, it's how they translate it. Like the word where they say his name is jealous. No, his name is not jealous. Y'all take that word back to the root and you're going to get zealous. You know, Yahweh is zealous. It is some bad translations in the book. It is. And that's where your studying comes in. But your study shouldn't make you vicious. It shouldn't make you vicious. It shouldn't make you arrogant. It shouldn't make you this fault. A lot of times, I had an Hebrew tell me, man, you know, you mighty quiet. You ain't. I said, bro, you doing all the talking. I don't need to talk. I mean, I know him. I know what I know. I mean, and you look like you got a wealth of information. So there's no sense in me saying, and what your Hebrew name is. Bro, you don't need to know my Hebrew name is. You just keep talking. Now you dwelling, you digging. I told you what my name was. You know, whether you call me by what my birth name is, or whether you call me by my Hebrew name or whatever it is, I'm still the same person underneath all them names. Whatever name, I don't care, whatever name you change your name to, if you a heathen, if you a rogue, you still a heathen and a rogue with a Hebrew name. I don't care. I see people change their names all the time, and that's good. I commend you for changing your name back to your heritage. But make sure you change your spirit. Make sure you change your energy. Make sure you change from being hateful, despising it, coveting it, disobedient to your parents. You understand me? You know what I'm saying? Killing, stealing and lying and sleeping around and, you know, and committing adultery and all these things that are being done, fornicating. Make sure you change that. Because the name change ain't gonna save you. The name change not gonna bring you into salvation. What it say when you read it? You read it? What does the name of Jesus mean? You saw that rendition on them? It say rendition. You looked up rendition. What it say? You saw the synonym.
Performance, rendering, interpretation, presentation.
I mean, it don't even fit. The word render don't even fit. And people are gonna say, "Oh, that's what I've been." Well, whatever. But the Bible clearly states that under the Shamayim among men, whereby we must be saved. As y'all continue to read this, you'll see they were trying to stop them from saying one thing, doing one thing. They didn't want them speaking in this name because there was a name change coming. So they didn't want them speaking in this name. They didn't want them speaking in this name. Constantine finna get ready to put down, beginning to put down. So they changing the whole horizon because what they're bringing in the introductory of a government. And the government that they brought in is called Christianity. Christianity is not a religion, it's a government. That's a government. It's a government. It rules, it reigns, it's an authority. Christianity is almost like a country. See, it's real slippery because Christianity really is a country because it done eased its way into all countries, into all lands. And no matter what country, they got to break their tongue and they got to say Jesus. We the only people don't understand that you need to break your rhythm and you need to say Yahshua. You need to say Yod He Wahe. You can say it without the vowel points. The tetragrammaton, if you're confused about that. So we understand that salvation that we're seeking, it is some things that we must revert back to. Because reverting back to these things, they revert you back to Yahweh. They revert you back to intimacy. Because now you're going to start coming into the commandments. You're going to start coming to the statutes. You're going to come back into the first writings, your foundation, your first love. The first love is Torah. That's Yahweh's first love. Yahweh's first love is Torah. Yahweh, the apple of Yahweh's eye is Torah. That's why the Bible said that Israel, because what did Israel have? What appointment, what assignment did Israel have? They had in their possession Torah. They had Torah. That's what they had. That's what made them appealing. Whenever you look at a woman, it's something about that woman or that man that is appealing to you, that nobody else in the room has. Only that one person. At that particular time, only Israel had that thing that caught Yahweh's eye. That he would call them the apple of his eye. You know, and when we begin to deal, because I'm jumping back and forth, we begin to deal with the Shabbat, people be trying to make the Shabbat spiritual, right? So when the Bible says, thou shalt do no work, hard work, if you going to work, you could take that time, or say you work for yourself and you could take that day off. You can't justify you going to work. Because what are you saying? You should not do any real work in your mind. You should not do any real hard thinking. No, I'm talking about physical labor. I'm talking about working. He's talking about going to work. And where I started, many Hebrews talking about, oh, we ain't supposed to do it. Man, listen, these people kept these things for 40 years. The 40 years that they were wandering. And wandering, when you use the word wandering, you got to go back and you got to understand that they were in school. They were going through the university of Yahweh. They were going through chemistry. They were going through geometry. They were going through trigonometry. They were going through astrology. Yeah. They were going through archaeology. They were going through archaeology. They were learning about the terrain. They were learning, man, these people were learning everything about this erects and everything about the Shamayim. This was by far see, we tend to say that the blessings of Yahweh, the bestowment of that Yahweh bestows upon us, we tend to take those things as chastisement. I don't take nothing because the Bible says Yahweh chasten those that he loves. Yahweh not chastening me. Yahweh is doing what he needs to do to get my attention, that I begin to give him my undivided attention. That's what chastisement is to me. Chastisement is not a punishment. Chastisement is not a whooping. Chastisement is Yahweh trying to get my attention. When you whoop your child, you're trying to get your child's attention. You don't take pleasure in whooping your child. It's not fun for you to whoop your child. You trying to redirect. Chastisement is to redirect. I'm trying to redirect my child. And that's what Yahweh, with those who Yahweh loves, Yahweh redirects. He puts them back. If he redirects, he's putting them back on a path. He's putting them on a path that they went left or they went right. So when you read word, because you're in a Western mindset, you got Western definition because you don't have Eastern definition. You don't have Shamayim definition. We're not understanding the mind. Who can know the mind of Yah? It didn't say nobody couldn't. It said who can know the mind of Yah? See, y'all reading this stuff. Oh, see the way it say that? See the way it say that? It say no. No. When Yahweh said my thoughts are not your thoughts, he's not saying you can't think like him. Right. He's just saying I don't think like y'all. Right. When Yahweh said my ways are not your ways, Yahweh is just saying, look, I don't do things like y'all do. But we can think like y'all. We can do like y'all. We can be like y'all because he is our example. We taking these things, we taking this Bible, and because of the translation, the transliteration, and we're being misinformed. We're definitely being misinformed. And it's called the confusion. That's what's called the confusion. It's called the confusion. And Yahweh is not the author of confusion. He's not the author of confusion. Neither does he come. Neither, listen. One thing I've seen Yahweh, organized chaos. This is organized. This dysphoria that we're in is organized chaos. Listen. This is what I heard from on high. Yahweh says, aren't you glad that I scattered y'all? That I placed y'all in different places? So that you don't have to receive what you would receive if y'all were a nation? Because if we were a nation, if we were consolidated with all the foolery that we got going on, everybody would be suffering. I thank Yahweh for his compassion. I thank Yahweh for his grace and his mercy, which grace for me is the Ten Commandments, and mercy is his laws and statutes, and all judgments and all other things that be attached unto Yahweh. That's my grace and my mercy. That's my grace and my mercy. I get my grace and mercy off the top because I eat from my Father's table. I'm hand fed. Yahweh begins to hand feed. When you begin to understand certain things, Yahweh begins to hand feed you. When you believe Yahweh, like that's good, that's good. So you've been searching, you've been seeking me out. So you found out that my 10 Commandments is mercy, and that my law, my statutes, and my commandments, and my judgments, that's mercy. I'm having mercy because I'm telling you what's going to happen to you. That's mercy before it happens to you. If somebody tell you, look, if you get in that car, you get on the highway, you're going to get in a wreck because the car don't have no brakes. You get in the car anyway. You just deferred from your mercy. You had mercy. Man, if you get in that car is going to explode. It's going to turn into a fireball when you hit 50 miles an hour. You got some people gonna still get in the car and try to do 49 miles an hour, 49 and a half, 49 and 3/4. That's just the way we are. Anything that's forbidden, that's what we seem to want. If it's forbidden, we seem to want it. Now, what I don't want to see, since the Hebrews say that we shouldn't be keeping the feast days because, you know, we're not in the land, you better not be in now Memorial Day. You better not be in now Labor Day. You better not be at nothing that is go-in. You better not take part in none of that stuff. No, man, I know you taking part in it because this is an undisciplined nation. And it's not even that. This is an undisciplined people who refuse to turn to the laws and to the statutes of our Abba. What's there to argue about? Watch this. I want you to turn to Joshua. I want you to turn to Joshua chapter 23. Chapter 23. And Yehoshua, this is his last address. I'm only going to hit portions of it, part of it. And it came to pass, a long time after that, Yahweh had given rest. He go to rest. When Yahweh said, I'm going to give y'all rest, let's go look at it. Let's go look at this prophecy that was fulfilled. Because there's a lot of folk don't know that this some stuff here being fulfilled. I want y'all to turn to Joshua chapter 21, verse 43. So we can see that it is written. It is written. And Yahweh gave unto Israel all the land which he sware to give unto their fathers. And they possessed it and dwelt therein. And Yahweh gave them rest round about according to all that he sware unto their fathers. And there stood not a man of all their enemies before them. And Yahweh delivered all their enemies into their hand. So, don't let me have to go to Ecclesiastes. But if I go to Ecclesiastes, the Bible said that there's nothing new under the sun. It said all things that are done have already been performed before. So the Bible is saying if you take this blueprint, I move. If you take this blueprint, you force my hand. You force me to move. Watch this up. It says, Yahweh delivered them out of all into their hand. There fell none of any good thing which Yahweh has spoken unto the house of Israel, all came to pass. That's a prophecy fulfilled. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand when you start talking about the spoil and slavery and going back into the land. It's some things already been fulfilled. And it's a question I would surely love to throw up in a lot of people's face, but I'm going to leave that alone. I ain't going to throw it up in their face because the Bible said that I'm going to leave it alone because if I mess with it, I got to go at it. I got to go into it. And the Bible said that, listen, back in Joshua 23, and it came to pass a long time after that Yahweh had given rest unto Israel from all thy enemies round about that. Yehoshua, he waxed old and stricken in age. And Yehoshua called for all Israel and the elders and for their heads and for their judges and their officers and said unto them, I am old and stricken. Now I want you to go to understand, I want you to see this hierarchy, I want you to see this government. This is a government. This is a sovereign nation. Listen to what the Bible says. The Bible says they have what? Elders at the top. Elders, not generals and not generals and captains and kings and princes. The Bible says elders, a board of elders. Joshua is in the stead of a king. He's in the office like a king, but he's like a judge. I think they call him a judge. It says, and Yehoshua called for all Israel for their elders, the heads. The heads of what? The heads of the tribes, the 12 tribes, the heads. And for their what? Judges. And for their what? Officers. And said to them, I am old and stricken. And ye have seen all that Yahweh your Abba have done unto all these nations because of you. For Yahweh your Abba, it is he that has fought for you.
Yes, yes.
It is Yahweh that fights for you, Israel. It is you, Hebrews, that Yahweh will fight for you. You don't have to try to fight. Listen, in this diaspora, we cannot be carnal. I'm going to tell you. Carnality, listen, broken beggarly, without a financial reserve, without a carnality, without a financial reserve, which would be many Hebrews, cannot defeat a carnal people that has unlimited resources and finances. You're not going to defeat them. You're not going to whoop them carnally. If you're going to fight fire with fire, you got to fight them with a different type of fire. There are different type of fires. You got electrical fires, you got fires that come from grease, and you got fires that come from wood. There are different types of fires. You're going to have to fight them with spiritual fire. You're going to have to enter back into the spirit. The courtyard of Yahweh is entering into the spirit, the presence. When you begin to enter in the court, you begin to enter into the presence, which is the spirit. You begin to come into the outer courts of Yahweh. Even in the outer courts of Yahweh, his presence is precious. It's precious. And anybody that knows about meditation and prayer, they know about the suffocation that I'm talking about when you begin to press, when you begin to press Yahweh, when you begin to seek Yahweh, when you begin to seek him, the pressure, the gagging, the choking where you can't breathe because your spirit man is getting nigh to the outer courts. Listen to the book. Listen to the book. Behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations that remain to be an inheritance for your tribes, from the Jordan with the nation that I have, with all the nations that I have cut off, even unto the great sea westward. And Yahweh your Abba, Yahweh your judge, he shall expel them from before you and drive from out of your sight, and ye shall possess their land, and Yahweh your Abba have promised it unto you. Yahweh is telling you how to fight. He's telling you how to fight fire with bigger fire. He's telling you how to suffocate the fire of those who do not prescribe and those who serve deities that have no power, they have no authority in the Shamayim. Yahweh has so many Malachim, so many angels assigned all about this ministry, all about me. He has Malachim, he has angels, he has messengers that are assigned. I'm no idiot. I'm no idiot. I'm not big bad Johnny Bronson. It is Yahweh that fights for me. It is Yahweh that goes before me when I walk outside this door, in the respect that's given from the highest of the crooked to the lowest of the crooked. But Yahweh has a way. Yahweh has a way that people begin to have compassion for Yahweh. Not compassion for me, but compassion for Yahweh. Not even knowing that they have compassion for Yahweh. Listen to the book. It says, verse 6, be ye therefore very courageous. Don't be crazy. Be courageous. To keep and to do all that is written in the book of Moshe, that you turn not aside therefrom to the right or to the left. Deal with the word very and deal with the word courage. Don't deal with courageous. Don't deal with that word yet. Don't deal with it. You're gonna do yourself a disservice. Don't deal with courageous, because the only way you can be courageous is you got to go through filth. You got to go through filth. You got to transform your disobedience into obedience. That's what makes you courageous, because you don't fought off. You don't fought off the Hittite. You don't fought off the Jebusite. You don't fought off the Hivite. You don't fought off the Canaanite. That's when you become courageous. When you go through the realm of this earth. When you walk through the realm, up through the breadth of this earth, and you're not affected by the Goyim. You're not affected by what they're saying. You're not affected by what they're smoking. You're not affected by what they're drinking. You're not affected by what they're using. You're not affected by their mannerisms. Because your mannerism is of the Shamayim. And the Shamayim will always be able to destroy earth, as it has done before. When Yahweh took our rainbow and set our rainbow on the shelf. The rainbow don't belong to homosexuals neither. That ain't who that belongs to. Take it back. Take it back. Stop giving people stuff that's yours and then clinging on the stuff that's not yours. Y'all know what's not yours? You are not a black Jew. If you say you're a black Jew, let me get up close to this. If you say that you're a black Jew and you know the letter J only 400, 500 years old, then you're saying that your existence as a people is only 400, 500 years old. So you can't be nothing but laughed at. They can't do nothing but laugh at you, because you yourself saying that you're a black Jew. Let them folk be Jews. Leave that alone. Stop meddling. Stop bothering with stuff. We always bother with stuff. We always bother with the wrong thing. We never bother with what we're supposed to bother with. That book said Hebrew. And it said Hebrew all the way until I think it's 1st or 2nd Kings, the 16th chapter. That's where they started installing. That's where they started their work. That's where they started their work, bringing in the Jew. But we already know that word Jew can only be 400, 500 years old. So don't call me no black Jew. I'm a Hebrew. Eberite. That's what I am. I'm not no black Jew. Stop jumping on Facebook bandwagons. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 7. It says, be therefore very courageous to go through what you got to go through to keep the law. Go through what you got to go through, because you're going to have to go through some things to keep the law of Moshe. It said that ye turn out aside to the right or to the left, means turn to the nations. It said that you come out among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the names of their deities, of their source, of their power. Don't make no mention of the name. Nor cause to swear by them. And say, if you keep making mention, people are going to start swearing by them. Neither serve them, nor bow down yourselves to them. Now I want you to look at Psalms 81 and 9. Psalms 81 and 9. We're going to go through, because I'm finna be through. And we know that when we get in the 7th month is dictated by the new moon. By the 7th new moon. And I ain't gave them back all they pagan, they months. They call it Tishri. I'm calling it the 7th month. I don't have to use that. I ain't got to use no Tammuz. I know what Tammuz is. I know that came out of Babylonian captivity, but we going to keep using it anyway. Listen to the book. 9. 81 and 9. There shall no strange deity be in thee. There shall no strange deity be in thee. Where can it be? In your mind and in your mouth. No strange deity shall be in thee, neither shall thou worship any strange deity. Point blank. Anything other than what Yah has given us is strange. Yahweh said, I have given you a name. Go back to the name I've given you. You got too much information. He said, look, don't do it. I am Yahweh, your judge, your ruler, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it with my name, with my presence, with my will, with my authority. But my people would not listen to my voice, and Israel they didn't want to have nothing to do with Yahweh. They would not obey. So I gave them up to their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsels. Oh, that my people had listened unto me, and Israel had walked in my way. I should soon have subdued their enemies. Listen at the blueprint, how you get your enemies subdued. He said, walk in my statutes. Walk in my ways. I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries. What y'all trying to fight? There ain't no fight. We fight Yahweh. We fight Yahweh. Turn your books to Exodus 23 and 13. Everybody know this one. (23 and 13) Exodus. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect and make no mention of the name of their deities. Listen, don't say other. You know why? If you say other, then you are implying that you believe that there's more than Yahweh. Don't say other. If you say other, then you are saying that you have beliefs. See, they got a way of making you say stuff. They making you say stuff. They making you say that you believe that there are other things that I don't believe nothing else working. So for me, when I read it, I'm not saying that. I'm not finna say, Yahweh gave me a head of flint. Yahweh teaching me how to go through his scripture, how to study his scripture. That I will not be ashamed and that I will rightly divide this word. Listen what it said. Make no mention of the name of deities, of their deities. Neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Come on and look at Isaiah 26 and 13. Since maybe we think that's a fluke thing. No, it's not a fluke thing. So all through the book, you got people talking about Lord and Jehovah, and I mean, they call it everything but the right. Why y'all need all them names? All y'all got to do is just call him Yahweh. That's all y'all do is just call him Abba Yahweh, which is your judge, your ruler, Elohim. I really don't like that because other people took that and they, you know what I'm saying, borrowed from it. And that's what they call their sources. They call that their power. So I just say because Yahweh is my judge and Yahweh is my ruler. He's my righteous judge and my righteous ruler. That's it. Listen to the book, 26 and 13. Oh, Yahweh, our Abba. Listen what it says. Other Baalim, lords. Lords, that's plural. See what it says? That's B-A-L-I-M. It says, other lords besides thee have had dominion over us. Why? Because it was in their minds. They empowered these things through their mind. It says, but by thee only will we make mention of your name. Of your name. And let's look at Hosea. Look at the book of Hosea. Look at Hosea. Look at the book of Hosea. Let's look at Hosea 2. Let's look at Hosea 2 and 16. It's tied in. And it shall be at that day, saith Yahweh, that thou shalt call me Ishi, my husband, and shalt call me no more my Lord. That's Baali right there. Look at it. It'll be translated in your Bible. They'll give it to you. My Lord. Baali. For I will take the name of lords, Baalim, out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. Yahweh looking for us to do this. Because he gave us this commandment. He telling us not to do it. But we study doing it anyway. We study doing it with all the knowledge that we got. Oh, the name, man, that name don't. Well, then start baptizing people in the name of Dolomite then. You know, baptize any name you want to do. You want to tell them any name then. You know, tell them to pray to any name then. Since the name don't matter, then if the name don't matter, why y'all praying in a certain name? Since the name don't matter. That's what I don't get. The cop out here, oh, the name don't really matter, man. That's just because we done, you know, the era, ain't no era. I ain't in no era. I'm in Yahweh. I'm not in your era. I'm not in your era. I'm not in your time, because you don't own no time. I'm not in your life, your lifetime. Boy, look here. I'm in the expansion of Yahweh. That's my existence. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm in Yah. In the expansion of Yah. That's it. And here's what Yahweh has done. Yahweh said, where were you? Where were you, son of man? When I gave the ocean a perpetual decree. Where were you? When I gave the stars and I gave the moon, I flung the moon and I flung the sun. Where were you in that day? So how you get to create anything outside of me? How you get to make rules and regulations outside of me? I'm your judge. I'm your ruler. I'm your author. But we make stuff outside of y'all. I'm not following that. I'm not following man. In 26 and 13, it says on this wall. It says on this wall, oh Yahweh, our rule. It says, Baal beside thee have had dominion over us. Lords. It's saying deities is what it's saying. Deities done had dominion over us for as long as we can remember. We always serve something other than what we supposed to have to serve. It says, but by thee only will we make mention of the name. Why the Bible keeps stressing the name? Why does the Bible keep saying that, look, you must return also to my name? Let us look at Zephaniah. Yahweh back on his name. I had something totally different. I want y'all to look at, let's see. I want y'all to look at 3 and 9, Zephaniah. It clearly states, for then will I turn to the peoples a pure language, that they may all call upon the name, and they say names, of Yahweh to serve him with one consent. That's another reason you have a problem, because we arguing over what his name is. Yahweh, Yehoshua, I mean, we arguing, do you say Todah, Rabbah, do you say Tawadah, Rabbah? You know, we arguing over all these different things. Is it ancient? Is it Phoenician? Oh no, you speaking Yiddish. You speaking modern. That's why y'all always say, look, y'all gonna call on me by one name, so I'm just preparing to call him by one name. I don't filter all that other mess. I don't need to call him all that other stuff, because that Nisi and Jar, all that stuff, certain things were done in those places. That was those places where things were done was not to be attached to Yahweh's name. Yahweh Nisi, Yahweh Jireh. No, he did something in that place. And there we go making up stuff again. We start making up stuff again. Y'all was, I'm going to turn to y'all pure life. Come on, turn back to Yehoshua chapter 23. I ain't talking about much or nothing, but I'm talking about something. But like I say, I was going to stay on the path. I was going to stay on the hard morning. I was going to stay on what we need to be doing. And then I was going to show in the Bible what was happening for between these 3 months, because we in the 3rd month. Well, when I looked at the moon, we already passed the first quarter. So we passed the first quarter. That means we in what? We started with a waxing crescent, first quarter. So we in a what now? A waxing gibbous. Waxing gibbous, full moon. Then what we do after the full moon? What we start doing? We started waning. Waning gibbous. What we get to? Last quarter. Last quarter what? Waning crescent. Coming into a new moon. Those are the phases. That's the easiest phase I can teach y'all standing up here. That's all you need. You need those phases right there. And you begin to see them. Listen to the book. Yahweh said that, listen, not by yourself to them, verse 8, but cleave unto Yahweh your arbor, your power, your source, as ye have done unto this day. So they had did good. They had done excellent. Because y'all begin to read back when he started dividing the land, he calls up Manasseh. He begins to get all the tribes together, and they begin to part the land. He began to tell them stuff like, look, I need for y'all to make 3 cities for the slave. Because if somebody accidentally kills somebody, he need to be able to flee into another city, because this king might kill him and overtake him. And he didn't do it, as long as this man, they never had no contention. They was friends. And the Bible says that the head of the axe came off and smite, hit the man and killed him. So Yahweh began to tell us how to do, different things. And it's the same thing now that you do, when somebody kills somebody, it's a manhunt for them. The people, family looking for them, police looking for them. It's the same thing. So they want to get him into custody before somebody kill him, so they can find out what happened. Was it manslaughter? Was it self-defense? Was it murder? Everything they do, they get out of the book. Listen to the book. But Yahweh have driven out from before you great nations. Oh, America is a great nation. And strong. America strong. But as for you, no man have been able to stand before you until this day. So Yahweh saying, look, I wouldn't have had no problem with driving out the Brits, the Ottoman Turks, the Spaniards, the Portuguese. I wouldn't have had no problem. But they stand before you this day because y'all don't want to keep my law, my statutes, and my commandments. So that's why they stand before you this day. This day, this day, this day. Whatever this Gregorian calendar day is this day, I'm on 5778. I'm on the 3rd month. So, and I just told y'all what I'm doing. I watch the moon. That's how I'm counting my days. That's how I'm counting my 28, 29. I'm counting my days, but I'm watching the moon. I'm watching the moon. Listen. It says, for no man of you shall chase. It says, one man of you shall chase 1,000. For Yahweh, your arbor, it is that fighteth for you. There it is again. As he hath promised you. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love Yahweh, your arbor. How do you love Yahweh? You keep his commandment. If we turn to the book of Exodus, 23rd chapter, I think that's Exodus, the 23rd chapter, it's going to say, behold, I send an angel before thee to bring thee into the way, to bring you into a expected place. Then it goes on to say, I will be an enemy unto your enemy, an adversary unto your adversary. But there is something that is spiritual that must be done in order for Yahweh to be your enemy. You must get all of the things of the nations that you have picked up. You must get all that stuff out of you. You got to get all that stuff under control. If you think Yahweh gonna come deal with the nations, and you got the same stuff the nations has in you, then the only thing you're gonna do when you go into the land, you're gonna take that stuff with you. We got to return to Yah in the totality, of our beings. And we got to understand that I don't belong to me. I'm not my own. I'm bought and paid for by Yahweh. Yahweh bought and paid for me. Yahweh brought my ancestors out of Egypt with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. With a plan for salvation for mankind. Those 7 feast days is the plan of salvation. Yes, it is. It's a resurrection in them. Yes, it is. It's a coming of Yah in there. Yes, it is. The 7 feast days is Yahweh's plan for salvation. It's the same plan they took and put over there in the second writings when they used Yeshua. It's the 7th day. And Yeshua went through all the feast days. That's how they called him, because he was at a feast day. He was at that Feast of Weeks. He sure was. Because he was the first type of his type. He was a first fruit. Yeshua was a first fruit offering. That's why he fell in that time to be a first fruit offering for those who prescribe to Yahweh. This book, listen to the book. It says this: take heed therefore unto yourselves that you love Yahweh your Abba, else, here we go, if, you have a conjunction word, the if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even those that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go into them, and they and you, know for a certainty that Yahweh your Abba will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps under you, scourges in your sides, thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which Yahweh your Abba have given you. The good land that they perished off of was Israel. That's prophecy fulfilled. This is the fulfillment. He brought our ancestors in the land. They had peace, no war. They still cut up. This is a fulfilled prophecy. No longer in the land. Listen to the book. And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your lives and in all your peace that not one thing have failed of all the good things which Yahweh your Abba spoke concerning you. All are come to pass. Come to pass means it's fulfilled unto you, and not one thing have failed thereof. There are some things that are fulfilled. Therefore it shall come to pass that as all good things are come upon you, which Yahweh your Abba promised you, so shall Yahweh bring upon you all evil. All evil things. This is between us and Yahweh. It's not between us and the white man and Yahweh. It's between us and Yahweh. Why y'all keep on? It ain't between us and the devil, church, because the church used the devil. That's who the church used. The church used the devil. Hebrews used the white man. Only differently. Hebrews say the white man is the devil, and because of this and because of that, but I ain't even called. I can't do nothing but deal with Yahweh. When I pray to Yahweh, I can't say, but Yahweh the white man, but Yahweh the devil. I can't pray with the devil in my prayer. When I begin to pray, everything has to be X'd out of my prayer, and I have to stand before Yahweh. You're going to have to learn how to stand before Yahweh for yourself. You can't stand before Yahweh in excuse. You got to stand before Yahweh. You got to stand before Yahweh and tell Yahweh, Yahweh, I have done your commandment. Yahweh, I did what you said do concerning the goyim that are round about me. Yahweh, I have returned unto you. I have turned my back. See, never do I do a 360. I 180. When I 180, I turned my back on the world. For everybody who do a 360, that means the only thing you did was went around and you back where you started. You back where you started. So I 180, I turned my back on the world. I turned my back on the things of the world. And some of the things that seem like it's of the world, it's not of the world. It's not of the world. Man have taught you and said that certain things are of the world. Y'all better get in this book and find out what it is that is of the world and what it is that is of Yahweh. They took your natural healing and they told you that your natural healing was voodoo. It wasn't no voodoo. I see dudes be talking about, oh, voodoo. No, man, no, bro. Black magic, sorcery, witchcraft, and a few other things. But man, voodoo was how we used to use herbs to heal ourselves, if that's what you want to call it, voodoo. Voodoo was nothing that you practice with no dog to bring harm to nobody. Y'all think about the root man. And the root lady. Some of y'all think about Miss Rudolph. Richard Pryor talking about Miss Rudolph. Listen to the book. Listen to the book. Bible says in 14, say, look, all the stuff that Yahweh done did, it have not failed you. But verse 15, therefore it shall come to pass. Listen what he say. Listen, this is prophetic. This whole book is prophetic. Listen, get out of that Western mind. This too shall pass. Maybe if I say it that way. So Joshua's saying, look, this too shall pass. Listen what he says. As all these good things are come upon you, which Yahweh your Abba promised you, so shall Yahweh bring upon you all evil things, until you have destroyed you from off this good land which Yahweh your Abba have given you. When you have transgressed the covenant of Yahweh your Abba, which he commanded you. Listen to what it says. And have gone and served deities, made mention of their names, bowed down to them, made statues, made images, made statues of angels and all in your house, wearing them on your neck, crosses round your neck, in your house, bound down to the cross. And have gone and served other deities, serve other. See, when you say other is saying that, look, there's more. There's more. There are other cars on the lot. That means there's more cars on the lot. We need to go see some other houses. That means that there's more than one house that you're interested in. Yeah. I got caught with the other man. Oh boy, we don't get it, do we? We don't get to play on words, do we? Other makes you, bring you into an admission that there is something else. Because you're saying other. I want to wear them other shoes. That means you got more than one pair of shoes. That means you got a choice to wear another pair of shoes. They don't get it. They don't get it. Listen to the book. When you have transgressed the covenant of Yahweh your Abba, your judge, your ruler, your source, your power, which he commanded you, and have gone and served deities, and bowed yourselves to them, then shall the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you. Did it say the anger of the white man? Y'all mad because Yahweh used the white man as a belt in his hand. And all Yahweh doing, using the white man, you so mad at the white man, turn from your wicked ways then. Turn from your wicked ways. But that's all he using them for, is to make you turn, is to turn you, to turn me. He turned me from him. He turned me from jails and prisons and their judicial system. He turned me from it. He using to whoop me. I learned though. Yeah, I listen. I wasn't reformed, not by no prisons and no jail. Prison and jail don't reform you. It's the knowledge that you receive while you sitting up in there reading that reform. It's Yahweh that reformed and turned and removed. It's Yahweh that put me back on the potter's wheel. You could have gave 50 years, don't put men back on the power. 50 years it may institutionalize a man to where he want to go back. Listen, when you have transgressed the covenant of Yahweh your Allah, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other deities, you have gone and served, I'll read the other, you have gone, I'm reading other now, because if you go and serving other deities, that means that you believe in those things that you're serving. You have a belief system in JC. You have a belief system in Christianity. That's where your belief system does not. This book ain't Christianity. This book don't have nothing to do with Christianity. Christianity is something outside of this book. Because Christianity does not do what this book say do. Christianity have taught y'all that, oh, you ain't got to do that. That's not the way. Listen to me. I ain't listening to you. I ain't listening to the one that had my ancestors in slavery. Why should I listen to you? I ain't listening to you. I'm finna go study. I ain't finna believe you. I ain't even finna believe what my grandmama said. I ain't even finna believe my great-grandmama. I'm finna go study. Because my mama and my grandmama and my great-grandmama do not have what I have today at the flick of a finger. They didn't have it. See, those were the pure in heart. I know they were pure in heart because they raised me. I was around. I saw what type of women they were. They were what you call the pure in heart. Listen to the book. When you have transgressed the covenant of Yahweh, your Allah, which he commanded you not to. He commanded you not to transgress it. And have gone and served these deities around you and bowed yourself to them, then shall the anger of Yah be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land which he have given unto you. Now let's do something with the good land. Since we already done showed that the prophets were filled with Israel, let me show you the truthful land, the spiritual land that Yahweh is going to throw you off of. I'm going to show y'all what Yahweh will throw you off of. I want y'all to go to Genesis, Bereshit. I want y'all to go there. And I want y'all to just go to 2 and 7. 2 and 7. 2 and 7. And Yahweh formed man from the what? From the erects. He formed man from the erects. So it was something in the land that Yahweh saw that was good, that he could do something good with. And when Yahweh formed man, Yahweh said that it was good. Everything that Yahweh formed these days, Yahweh said that it was good. So at this particular time, man was good. Mankind. That's male and female. That's male and female, because many people think that Adam and Eve was the only people. I ain't going through that argument. I'm not going through that. I'm not going that route. Many people, that's what people think. That don't have no bearing on salvation. If Adam and Eve was the only first two people on the earth, that don't have nothing to do with the salvation of Yahweh. That's not going to hinder. That's not going to hinder you. You arguing about if Adam and Eve was the only two people on the face of the earth, has nothing to do with your salvation when you operating in hatred and covetousness, lying, stealing. That don't have nothing to do with your salvation. That's what I'm saying. Some of the things that we are arguing about don't have nothing to do with salvation. So Yahweh says, and I breathe theonosis into the nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Man began to dwell in the earth. This carbon body. Man began to dwell in the earth. Man began to dwell in the erects. Man began to dwell in the erects. He began to dwell in what he was formed from. So Yahweh said, listen, if y'all don't want to keep my law, my statutes, and my commandments, I'm going to throw y'all off the good land. This is good land. This is good real estate. In order for you to possess that land, you got to possess this land first. It's a must. It's a must. You must possess this land. This is the land that you must possess first before you can possess anything else. It's elementary. Shabbat. Shiva Yom Shalom. Shabbat. Shiva Yom Shalom.